Josh, obviously in the sweatshirt and everything, you were, I guess, supposed to be limited in practice today. Were you, or what did you do and what?
Yeah, I mean, talking with the training staff and just having a plan with Nate Bresky, just obviously a lot of moving parts, but didn't do too much today, just taking it easy and just making sure that, I'm putting myself in best position for Sunday and making sure that I'm not sore. So didn't throw a lot today, and hopefully back tomorrow we'll be on the field and like nothing happened.
Can you take us into kind of where that is now? I knew it, it's obviously taken multiple hits. So kind of how you feel now and where you feel you need to be for it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously unfortunate. It's when it's your throwing shoulder, and as a thrower, you don't like feeling any sort of, I wouldn't even call it pain, just discomfort in there. And so we're just trying to stay on top of it and get ahead of it while we can. And obviously, I hate not practicing. I hate not being involved in what we're doing. But at the same time, I know this is probably what's best. And again, just putting myself in the best situation to make sure that I'm ready to go tomorrow and for Sunday.
Last follow for me, do you have a sense that this is going to be part of a plan moving forward past this week, or is it like a week to week?
I mean, I don't think it's going to linger too much. But again, I think this was the best thing for best thing for me in making sure that, just trying to stay ahead of it and not let this affect it long term.
Do you feel like it's better right now than it was after the game last week?
Absolutely. And every day gets so much better. And again, if I had to practice today, absolutely would. If the game was today, I'm playing in the game. But just in terms of making sure that it's not going to be super sore, and want to be smart when we're throwing it, and that's up to our training staff, and I trust those guys and gals in there implicitly, and just making sure we're on track for that.
Josh, when you look back at the film of the playoffs, what did you come out of that learning the most? What they did, what did you take away from that game?
Yeah, third downs we weren't good. Especially third and short areas where we felt like we were efficient enough on offense, but again, not putting together great performance on third down that game. Obviously, they had a plan to, change our eyes in protection, and, whether they want to get back to that again, I guess we'll find out on Sunday. But, at the end of the day, it comes down to executing, and that's something that, myself and this offense didn't do well enough in the playoff game, was execute. So, obviously the season's had a lot of ups and downs, and, we're just trying to take it one game at a time. And this is a really good defense that we're going against, and led by another Wyoming Cowboy, Logan Wilson, who's maybe the best linebacker in the game right now. He's flying around. He's super instinctive. Their front is really good. They got 4 guys up front that can go, and I think they're playing really well in the secondary too, and playing and tying it together with their D-line, and they're playing good football right now. So we got to be ready for whatever they can throw at us, but obviously it comes down to executing on Sunday night.
What do you think he does that makes things so difficult? Is he one of these multiple? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think they do what they do. But lots of coordinating is having the guys that can go out there and play and fits the scheme well. So I think they got a lot of guys that are really good on that side of the ball. But he does a good job of, making some concepts look like man, and getting out to zone, and really forcing the quarterback to stay within himself and take the easy ones. And a lot of times quarterbacks will get they'll start pressing a little bit and start forcing the ball downfield, and they've been doing a good job of taking the ball away.
Josh, how much were you able to self-scout during this little break? And where would you sort of assess your game at the midway point, and then maybe the offense overall?
Yeah, I mean, I think statistically, if you look at it, it's pretty dang good. And obviously, sometimes stats can be skewed, and so you can't always trust those. They don't always tell the bigger picture. Obviously, there's been games that we want to score more, and we need to execute at a higher level, and that starts with me. But obviously, with 9 games left, we got to take it one game at a time, and we got to play good complementary football going forward, because each piece of the puzzle feeds the next, and that's offense feeding special teams feeding defense, and vice versa. So we got to be better in that aspect for this team to win games.
Jumping off that, with the mini bye, did you have some time to kind of go back through and look over some stuff throughout the season, and if anything kind of stood out to you?
Sorry, what now?
Just on this mini bye, did you have a chance to kind of look back through your previous games that you guys have played, and is there anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this last game, I felt like we executed at a pretty high level. Obviously, there's some third downs that we wish we could have back. But that's honestly what it comes down to. Our guys and myself being put in the right positions and making the plays. And sometimes it's not so much about the X's and O's and it's the Jimmy and Joes and going out there and playing together. And like I said earlier, playing complementary football and not putting our defense in bad situations. Because everything in this game is so predicated on that. Not turning the ball over, having good field position, and playing complementary football.
What's different from your perspective on a day like this when you don't practice, but preparing for a defense that you obviously have a lot of respect for? What changes in your process?
Nothing really changed. I mean, I still take all the mental reps back there behind Kyle and making sure that I'm seeing everything. And obviously, film is all the same. Just getting a little bit more treatment is all. And just trusting what the coaches are telling us, trusting my eyes, and this team, they're playing really good football right now. So we got to be on our best game.
Guys on the roster, Rasul and Leonard, both of whom you guys have had some chippy moments with in the past. Did you discuss those maybe jokingly in passing, and what do you think those two can bring to the team?
Obviously Rasul just got here. We're really happy to have him. He's a heck of a corner. And then playoff Lenny, that he's got a good reputation around the league for being a guy that can perform when the lights are the brightest. So we're happy to have both those guys, and obviously going into the second half of the season, we're going to need guys to step up and make some plays, and obviously Rasul's going to have to be one of those guys that steps up, and whenever Leonard's name gets called, he's going to have to step up for this team as well. So that's all we're trying to do is go 1-0 each week and compete and be the best versions of ourselves here.
How much have you thought about going back to Cincinnati and what DeMar went through last year and what the team overall experienced and witnessed, and how much emotion do you think there will be this week in returning there?
Yeah, it's hard to tell exactly how guys are going to feel, exactly how I'm going to feel. I'm trying to take it as it's a normal game. We don't make any bigger or less than the previous or the next one. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of emotions flowing through some guys there and being back on that field, especially tomorrow. But at the same time, we got a job to do, and we got to figure out how we can either use it to motivate us or put it behind us and focus towards the game on Sunday night.
How much of a talking point, if at all, has it been amongst the team?
It hasn't been too much of a talking point. I think obviously we're a pretty veteran-led team, and guys are keeping their focus where it needs to be. So if that comes up, obviously we've got the right amount of resources here in this building to help deal with that, and just, again, trusting our veteran leadership.
It would be impossible to not feel those emotions. Anyone who was there that night or even watching it, to feel some type of emotion when you go back into that situation. But how much does the outcome here, what's happened in terms of DeMar, his health, and really the good that's been done, CPR training, AED access, that type of a thing, maybe in the big picture, do you think that mitigates that at all, I guess?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, again, the fact that DeMar's here and he's on our team, and the fact that he's in the building smiling and doing everything he can to help this team win football games, I think that in itself mitigates that. So, yeah.
What were some of the elite Halloween costumes this year? Jordan's was on social media. Looked pretty.
Yeah, the avatar was pretty sweet. They did really good. Reed Ferguson had a Darth Maul costume that was fantastic. Who else was pretty good? Those are the couple that come to my mind right now. Yeah.
Back to Leonard, you mentioned his playoff experience. Just how much value do you think that can bring, not just to the offense, but as the team in general, especially in having last year?
Yeah, anytime you get guys that have accomplished that goal and have that sense of, that sense or that feeling of winning, Super Bowl, it's always good to have those guys on your team. That's, not too often can you get a guy mid-year like that that has that experience. So being able to explore, his brain and see what he thinks, and obviously I think that could be a huge asset for us. Thank you guys.